Hey everyone, welcome back to the Animal Notebook channel. Today we are diving into an incredibly special explainer all about the ultimate survivor, Puma, the pinnacle of adaptation in the wild. Now, if you've ever sat there wondering how a single predator manages to completely dominate environments, ranging from freezing mountain peaks all the way down to scorching deserts, well, you're in exactly the right place. So, this majestic creature roams the vast, untamed wilderness of the Americas like a true mountain explorer. But before we really get into the weeds of their incredible biology and those absolutely ruthless hunting skills, I've got to tease a pretty wild fact. This highly elusive feline actually holds a rather unusual Guinness World Record. Any guesses what that could possibly be? Yep, the number is over 40. So, the puma actually holds the Guinness World Record for the mammal with the most names in the English language. Depending on where you grow up, you might call this guy a cougar, a mountain lion, a panther, or maybe even a catamount. But honestly, no matter what name you use, they are an absolute marvel of natural engineering. Okay, let's map out our journey for today. First, cat of many names. Second, built for the hunt. Third, masters of adaptation. Fourth, the solitary hunter. Fifth, life cycle and survival. And finally, number 6, Puma FAQs and conservation. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. Cat of many names, understanding the puma's identity. You know what's really crazy? When you stack pumas up against classic big cats, there's a genetic reality that surprises almost everybody. So despite their downright intimidating size, scientists call them Puma conicolor, and get this, they are genetically much closer to the little domestic house cat sitting on your lap right now than they are to lions or tigers. And because of how their throat bones are structured, pumas literally cannot roar. Instead, just like your house cat, they purr. Moving on to Section 2, built for the hunt, an anatomical breakdown. Imagine a massively muscular frame, packing anywhere from 115 to 220 pounds, topped with a small, rounded head, and anchored by this exceptionally long tail used for balance. It makes the puma the absolute ultimate ambush predator. They aren't going to chase their prey for miles. No, they're what we call crepuscular, meaning they do their best stalking in the dim, shadowy light of twilight. Armed with unbelievable night vision, thanks to a special reflective layer in their eyes, they launch a massive, powerful pouncing attack, deliver a fatal bite right to the back of the neck, and then they'll cache, or basically hide, that large kill under leaves or snow so they can feed on it for days. Up next is Section 3, Masters of Adaptation, thriving in diverse biomes. Now, it is one thing to have all those physical tools, right? But it's a completely different ballgame to successfully apply them across wildly different ecosystems. Because of their massive geographic range, pumas have to be incredibly adaptable. We're not just talking about living in some woods. They're out there thriving in dense coniferous forests, sweltering, totally dry deserts, lush grasslands, muggy swamps, and even freezing mountain peaks at elevations pushing over 14,000 feet. And to survive in all of those extreme places, you basically need superpowers. When they go in for that ambush, a puma can hit top speeds of 50 miles per hour in short, explosive bursts. But honestly, it's their jumping that justifies gravity. Using those massive hind legs, a puma can launch themselves 18 feet straight up into the air or leap 40 to 45 feet horizontally in a single bound. It's just wild. Let's look at Section 4, the solitary hunter, life in the wild. So unless they're actively mating or it's a mother raising her cubs, pumas are fiercely solitary. They're highly territorial creatures, and they mark out their domains using scrapes, leaving deep claw marks on trees, and using scent markings, basically hanging up huge keep-out signs for other pumas. And because they're apex predators that need a massive amount of food to survive, their personal home ranges are huge. Depending on where they live and how much prey is around, a single adult puma will control a territory spanning anywhere from 30 to over 150 square miles. On to Section 5. Life cycle and survival, from cub to apex predator. The absolute only time you're ever going to reliably see these elusive cats traveling in a group is during those super crucial early stages of life. After a gestation period of roughly 91 days, a mom will give birth to a litter of about 1 to 6 kittens. And this is so cute. Unlike their solid-colored parents, the kittens are born totally blind and covered in spots. Their eyes finally open up around 2 weeks old, and then they'll stick right by their mother's side for a good 12 to 18 months. That's when they learn all those vital hunting skills they're going to need before heading out to claim those massive territories of their own. And finally, Section 6, Puma FAQs and conservation. Your questions answered. Okay, so for our grand finale, we've gathered the top 4 frequently asked questions straight from you guys, our animal notebook community. Let's kick things off with FAQ number 1. And hey, this is actually a great test to see who was paying attention a few minutes ago. The question is, can a puma roar? The answer is a definitive no. Even though they are the 4th largest wildcat on the entire planet, the specific structure of their throat bones makes roaring physically impossible. But they make up for it with a crazy diverse range of vocalizations. They communicate by purring, growling, hissing, chirping, and, this is the spooky one, letting out these high-pitched screams that can literally echo through the mountains. Moving right along to FAQ number 2, which piggybacks on that insane athletic prowess we talked about earlier. Exactly how high can a puma jump? They are just exceptional jumpers. Those incredibly powerful hind legs basically act like giant coiled springs, letting them leap higher than pretty much any other cat relative to their size. We are talking rocketing up to 18 feet vertically straight up into the canopy of a tree, or flying an astonishing 40 to 45 feet horizontally just to clear a massive ravine or ambush a target out of nowhere. And that naturally brings us to FAQ number 3. With all that explosive power, blinding speed, and total stealth, what exactly is on a puma's menu? What's their main prey? Well, pumas are obligate carnivores, and across the vast majority of their range, deer are definitely the primary target. But don't forget, these guys are highly opportunistic stalkers. They are absolutely going to hunt whatever happens to be available in their territory. That means taking down everything from hefty elk calves and agile bighorn sheep, all the way to smaller, trickier meals like raccoons, rodents, and yeah, even prickly porcupines. As apex predators, keeping those prey populations perfectly in check is their vital role in the ecosystem. All right, and finally, FAQ number 4. This is a really crucial question about their future out there in the wild. Are pumas endangered? So the answer is a little nuanced. On a global scale, the IUCN actually lists the puma as a species of least concern, simply because their overall population is relatively stable and their geographic range is just so massive. However, they are facing some really serious ongoing threats from habitat fragmentation, vehicle collisions, and human conflict. In fact, some specific regional subspecies, like the Florida panther over in the eastern United States, are critically endangered today. Which leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question to chew on. Can humans and pumas actually coexist in an increasingly urbanized world? We're starting to see wildlife corridors being built to reconnect their fragmented habitats, and there are these incredible stories of adaptation out there. Take P22, for example, the famous puma who somehow managed to live right in the bustling heart of Los Angeles, inside Griffith Park, for years. It just proves that if we put the right conservation efforts in place, coexistence is absolutely possible. I really hope this explainer has left you just as fascinated by the sheer adaptability and resilience of the puma as I am, and maybe even a little eager to learn more about how we can protect our wild spaces. Thank you so much for joining me today here on Animal Notebook, and I will catch you guys in the next one.